Ever wondered why front end damages go cheaper on salvage auctions and what sort of hassle and headache you have to go through? Stick around guys, I'm going to explain to you everything. Front end damage usually consists of bonnet, bumper, headlights, wing, slam panel, all the radiators, suspension, airbags as well, like in this case. When I first got this car, it took me 1.5 hours just to take it off the recovery bed because the suspension leg was damaged, as well as the steering rack off the knuckle of the hub. On auction pictures you never see the sachet leg like that, as bent as it is. When you see it in person, you know you got a lot of work to do in the morning. Once you've stripped away the damaged bumper, headlights, slam panel, radiator, all the broken plastics, you're looking at the timing case cover and you're wondering, that's bent, is it going to start? When you're looking at it at this view, you're wondering, what the hell have I got myself into here? How do I escape? First things first, I needed to see if this engine started. If it did not start, I was not going to go ahead with this project. What I did was, due to the damage, the intercooler pipe that runs from the gearbox to the intercooler at the front was damaged. So what I did here was found some 1/2 inch piping and bypassed it, disconnected the top intercooler pipe to the bottom one so I could hear it start without all the gearbox oil gushing out or causing any more damage to the gearbox. After I heard it start, I let it run for about 10 seconds, turned it off because there was a lot of oil leak. As you can see here, the front bottom crankcase cover was leaking. So what I did first thing was replace this crankcase cover. At the same time, check the timing chain and the tensioner, it all looked fine. As a matter of fact, it looked like it had just got replaced. When I received the vehicle had mold all over the seats, in the rear, on the seat belts, on the carpet. So what I did was take out all the seats and gave it a thorough clean and an interior valet. At the same time, I removed front seat belts which had gone off. Also the roof liner I took out because the driver's side, the right hand side, roof curtain airbag had come off, and also the driver's airbag, which I had all of these replaced. The only good thing was the passenger airbag did not go off because it had child safety on, but this was a bonus, but I still had to replace the passenger airbag because the resistance was too high. The good thing was I didn't need to swap the dashboard because nobody likes doing that fiddly job. The steering rack arm was snapped on the knuckle of the hub, so there was no steering. You couldn't steer this vehicle or move it, and the suspension leg was bent. So I replaced the steering arm and the suspension leg just to have it pulled on my recovery bed. I did not want to cause damage by driving this vehicle, especially with no gearbox oil. The engine oil, I did not know how much it's got in. Before it went to the jig shop, I located and bought all parts I required from a breaker, which worked out better for me because this vehicle needed a lot of plastics, and if you went and bought all the plastics from a main dealer, you would see the cost would have gone up. The sachet was bad. One side was creased and the other side moved to the right. For a sachet puller, this sort of work is easy. They call it easy money. They can get this done in 4 hours. It's breakfast for them. So I had no choice, but I had to take it to a jig shop. My jigman Harry, who's been doing this 20 years, pulled this out in a day, put on all the panels, and it was ready. The front end was anyway. He didn't give me no discount, he just told me his life story. Harry was nice enough to let me use his ramp so I could drain the gearbox oil out and fill it with 8 litres of gearbox oil so I could move the car, drive it 1 mile up the road to my workshop. This was the first time I drove the vehicle since I've owned it, and when I drove it back that 1 mile, it felt like a roller coaster. The gearbox, the engine, everything was shaking. I was only going about say 10 to 15 miles max. Once I got back to my workshop, when I put it on the ramp, I could see why. You would think after it come out the jig shop that the car was ready, but the real problems began now. I started to discover all the real problems now because I could see what was wrong with it, which I could not see on my driveway. The impact of the damage was so hard, it had broken the gearbox mount that sits all the way in the middle of the vehicle. At the bottom, this was smashed. So I replaced this first of all, but I got the wrong part, so I had to reorder the right one, and that was sorted. Not only was the gearbox mount smashed, both the engine mounts were smashed also. They both were gone, so I had to replace them both with undercovers. Luckily for me, the subframe was okay, everything else seemed fine. After I replaced these two parts, took it out for a drive, there was no steering. The red light was flashing on the dashboard for the steering rack. That usually means the steering rack is dead. This steering rack is the electronic one, the expensive one, and I didn't have no choice, tried everything to fix this, but it was not budging, so I had to replace this also. Once I repaired one problem, I'd find a new problem, and so on and so on. Every time I repaired it, took it out for a drive, come back, I'd find a new problem. This problem was when I replaced the crankcase cover, the upper one to check the timing, I didn't swap the seal, and it was leaking through the seal. So what I did was replace the seal. I replaced the O-rings that go in between the variator, which is a common problem which I've shared with you guys on my channel also. At this point, I felt like there is some hope, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. I started putting things together, driving it around, and it seemed okay till I came back on my final drive. I noticed there was a leak on this gearbox intercooler pipe. Just one end cost £325 and I could not locate it anywhere. So what I did, I cancelled my appointment with my paint shop person till I sorted out this problem. So I took it away from my workshop, I put it in my garage at home and left it there a few weeks while I sorted out a few little issues. I was not going to pay £300 for this pipe, so I did the usual, got some inspiration off YouTube, converted this pipe from German engineering to some Japanese engineering, more reliable, and it did the job for me. I did however swap the piping that ran from the gearbox to the middle, that joint along that pipe. While sat at my garage, I sorted out a few issues. This knock sensor, I just replaced it. And there was another issue, the thermostat, the water pump, which was a very cheap fix for me guys. I've shown this from my other video in my channel. After I sorted out these few little issues, I was happy for the vehicle to go to the paint shop. Mechanically, I thought the vehicle was very sound now, and I was happy to take it to the paint shop. Today it's gone in to the body shop. Wing, bumper, bonnet, both front end. At the paint shop, it's yes, this is Nim from Chawda Motors. He's been here 30 years. So Nim, what have we done to this car then?
This car came in, had brand new panels on it. So we painted a full front end, bumper, bonnet, 2 wings, machine polished the whole car, touching all of this. Now you can see it's that brand new again.
Yes.
You would never know it's been in a hit. Every day we get cars like this, we'll make them nice, so the customer is always happy as well.
Yes.
And you're smiling today, so you seem happy today.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's come out the body shop. Just putting on the grills and the fog lights before I took it to the MOT. Come out the MOT. Passed. Once the MOT had passed, I was relieved, and this was the first time I drove it properly, and this was the first time I brought it home. As you've seen through this video, there was a lot of work to a front end damage and a lot of hidden damage. I bought this vehicle for myself because I like the fact it was an automatic and it was a petrol engine, gasoline. Now I've had it 1 year, driving it around. I love this vehicle. When doing the vehicle, was it fun? No, it wasn't at all. Am I happy at the end of it? Very happy. Would I do it again? Of course not. This vehicle, when I first bought it, was £2,500, and that's 25% of the market value. These vehicles go for around £10,000 in the UK. By the time I had it fixed, the total, it cost me £5,600. As though I spent £5,600, I'm happy with it. I hope I inspired a few people. We've got a few front-end projects on hold. This vehicle here doing this project is the vehicle that inspired my YouTube channel. If I'm being honest guys, there was many times I thought I wasn't going to complete this project. I carried on, I didn't give up, and all I could say is I got the job done.